Thank you, Phil, for your leadership that you've been providing for the Border Caucus to both you and Raul Grijalva and to the members here. One of the things when we talk about the border security, we have to do it in a smart way where we provide the border security in a smart way, but at the same time, we don't impede the legitimate trade, tourism, and retail. For us that live on the border, we always find it interesting that the people that live the furthest away from the border are always the ones that come up with the most interesting solutions for the border. They feel that if you put a fence and add a whole bunch of Border Patrol, that solves the problem. But for us that we look at trade as something that's so important to us, it is important to understand why we have to look at a balanced approach. Let me give you an example. In South Texas, I know that both Beto will talk about El Paso and Pete will also talk about his area also. But let me talk about some numbers down there. For example, last year, Roma, which is my district, passed 7,000 trucks. Rio Grande passed 29,000 trucks a year. Progreso, 45,000. Brownsville, 218,000. Hidalgo, the area there, 480,000. My hometown, which is the largest land port of entry in the United States, passed about 1.8 million trucks crossing, which is over 12,000 trucks a day. Laredo handles about 44.9, almost 45% of all the trade between the U.S. and Mexico comes through my land port. So just from Laredo down, doesn't include what El Paso and the other areas, that's over 2.5 million trucks that cross the South Texas going through that particular area. The numbers that we've seen is that we need about $5 billion of infrastructure. When you look at the infrastructure that we have on the borders, except for the new ports of entry, they're very confined. They were built many years ago. And therefore, if you look at the increased bridge time, and there's been different studies, there was one study that showed, this is from the Department of Commerce, that showed that the border wait time at the 5 busiest border points of entry resulted at a average of economic output loss of $116 million per minute that we were losing. That's basically about $7.8 billion over a period of time. And that's lost because we're not paying attention to the border. All we think about is the border when we talk about the in-betweens of the ports of entry, but we got to look at the ports of entry. The solution that I'm looking at, one solution, and the other members will talk about more men and women in blue, which is the ports, the customs officials, or more infrastructure, is one that doesn't cost any money. And we've been working in the appropriations. We've been working with both Senator Cornyn, but in particular, Chairwoman Mary Landrieu added the language that we've been working on, and that's basically the public-private partnership. Whereas if you have a local city or a state government that wants to add some money to give money to GSA or customs, they will be able to do that so we can expand our infrastructure down there. It will not cost any money to the federal government. It's a free market solution, and we'll be working with her to continue make sure that in the appropriation bill we have this language. So we'll do our part on the House side. She added in the Senate. I want to thank her very much for that. But the public-private partnership is something that's been used in different parts of the United States. We got to be smart, use it at a port of entry. Simplemente a las media que estamos aquí en español, el problema que hemos tenido en el pasado es que siempre hablamos de los hombres y mujeres en verde, que es el Border Patrol, y hablamos de un muro y sabemos que el Río Grande, el Río Bravo, no los divide, pero los une como dos naciones. Acabo de regresar de México, donde los congresistas, senadores, comerciantes, allá me están diciendo, ¿qué están haciendo ustedes allá en los Estados Unidos? Nosotros somos amigos y no somos enemigos. Y por eso el trabajo que tenemos en los puentes es algo que necesitamos que poner más recursos. Y ahorita los colegas, Beto Roque y P. Gallegos Filomón van a hablar, pero ahorita es mi placer de introducir mi gran amigo de El Paso, que acabo de estar con él, fuimos a Ciudad Juárez, vimos los puentes, vimos allá, mi amigo Beto Roque, ladies and gentlemen, Beto Roque, the congressman from El Paso, will be talking about the ports of entry and what we need to do that. So Beto, thank you for the good work that you've been doing.
Thank you.